So still watching the track of Hurricane Lee, but it sounds like at this point we do know that no matter what, we'll get something out of this.
Exactly, Amanda. And what we're looking at is kind of just exactly where Lee is going to end up is going to be very indicative of the type of impact that we're going to see, mainly rain and wind. So that's something that we're going to watch. And we even have some rain moving through right now, but this doesn't have anything to do with Hurricane Lee. This rain that we have here is because of a stationary front that brought us rain yesterday that's kind of just hanging right along the coast, which has been giving us a lot of moisture in the air, giving us showers both yesterday and today. Now this system is going to move offshore, but another system will be coming close behind. Looks like my graphics don't want to advance here. So hopefully upstairs, if Keith can hear me, maybe he can test those out a little bit. There we go. All right, high temperatures today though, getting back on track here. A little bit below average for this time of year, only getting into the upper 60s in a lot of spots. So cooler than we have had over the past couple of days, but we've still been holding on to these dew points. Still in the upper 60s to low 70s here for dew points. And that very sticky air is going to hang out until we have a cold front move through later this week, which will begin to kind of dry things out. And here's that cold front that's going to move through on Wednesday, which is going to give us some pretty heavy rain Wednesday night and into Thursday morning. But then we have a high pressure system that's going to move in behind it, which is going to clear us out for Thursday and into Friday. And this high pressure system will give us a good indication of exactly where Hurricane Lee is going to move into New England as we go over the next couple of days. Now, Hurricane Lee is probably what we're all going to be talking about, but first we're going to talk about quickly the rain that's going to move through tomorrow. So we're going to start out the day with a couple of showers, but the heavier rain associated with that cold front is going to move through Wednesday afternoon. Could see some areas of isolated flash flooding possible because we have a lot of moisture in the atmosphere and the soil is already pretty saturated as well, but that front will move through, giving us some clearer weather for Thursday. And honestly, I think Friday will be the best day of the week before Hurricane Lee moves in for the weekend. So Hurricane Lee is currently a Category 3 storm. Right here is currently south of Bermuda, winds at 115 miles per hour currently, and it's expected to turn north. And as it heads into cooler water, it is going to start breaking up here. So right now the track has it a little bit between Maine and Nova Scotia here. So we are going to see some impacts with the hurricane, but it really depends on exactly where it makes landfall. The European model here is kind of worst case scenario where it makes landfall here in Maine, but honestly, it probably won't even be a hurricane at that point. The GFS or American model keeps it a little bit farther to the east, but we will see some of that rain and wind continue. Worst case scenario for our European model here has wind gusts at about 50 miles per hour, which still can cause a lot of damage, but we're not talking about really catastrophic damage here. And we could see some wave heights get pretty high as well, so I think a main concern here will be rip currents and beach erosion as we go into the weekend coming up. But currently, the waves are only at 2 to 4 feet and the water is at 65 degrees. So as we talk about Hurricane Lee, I think the main concern here is that we will have some heavy winds and some flooding rain possible, but we aren't looking at incredibly catastrophic damage. So it's just kind of important to see that once the storm makes landfall, Brian and Amanda, we're looking at a weaker Category 1 or a tropical storm. So it's still going to have flooding, still going to have high surf, and some winds may cause some power outages. But overall, it's kind of similar to a nor'easter in that sense.
Okay.
Thanks so much, Dan. Appreciate it.